Yeah, Prasad, we are back.
Okay. Maybe I don't know. So where we left?
Sure. So you are yeah, Amazon Linux image you are selecting.
Yeah. So this is our image. As we discussed, like, what is our image? Image could be any operating system, right? So here I could find Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, or Red Hat. So whatever image you want, you can pick it from here. So that is your Amazon.
Okay, yes.
Amazon machine image, right? So here I want to discuss like what is instance type. We discussed, right? Instance type is your RAM, CPU. You're fine.
Prasad, I think you didn't started the recording for like after continuation,
Okay.
please.
Might be some issue. Yeah, it's recording, Mustafa.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, this is where we left. So instance type is nothing but your RAM. So what type of CPU you want, that we are going to select here. So as of now, as a free tier, subscription, we will be able to only click on T2.micro. So you will be having like many T2 micro, T2 large, okay, T2 mini, M5, C5. So these configuration that will be based on your requirement. So if you are installing like Oracle, you want to install Oracle. So you need some type of configuration, like you need a more CPU, more RAM, right? So based on the requirement, we will be choosing the instance type. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, this is next comes key pair. So as of now, you can create any, this will discuss later, keeper, what is keeper. So you can give your own name, any name. So it could be .pem or .ppk, either is fine, okay? You can create.
Okay.
So as of now, this is your network setting. This is default. You can create your own VPC. Here we are calling it as an VPC is nothing but your virtual private cloud. So that is different topic again. This is also different service. So as of now, you just click on default network settings only, and also default security group. Just launch instance. So successfully launched. How do you verify? Here you can go on to view all instances. Okay, just click on this. Just to refresh the page. Yeah. So what do you see here? Before instant state, it is pending state, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Now it get to like running state. So once it get into running state, you can connect to this instance. So how do we connect to the instance is a question. So how do we instance? How do we connect? So it is in three ways. Either you can connect through putty, okay? You can connect through git bash, or you can connect directly here.
Okay.
Here you will be find out option connect. So as we discussed
So
before,
this will be the direct connection from
there is a, I mean,
AWS. So these are direct connection for.
yeah, this is direct connection. So I did not allow some SSH connection like this. So if you want to connect to browser, you need to give a security group. I mean, I'm just allowing the firewall to connect through. This is called inbound rule. So that we'll discuss later. Security group. So this is one way. So other way is you can connect through putty or git bash.
Okay.
So for connecting the either through putty or git bash, what should you have? You should have IP address, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my IP address. You can find here. So this is the public IP address. By public IP address only, we will be able to connect to the instance. So either through private also we can connect, but as of now we will be using public IP.
Okay.
So if I take git bash, so I just created one PEM key, right? By using this PEM key only, you will be able to. Okay, this is one reason. Okay, let's see that connection later. So this is how we can create EC2 instance. So how do you differentiate whether it is EC2 instance uh, of Linux server or whatever the server you have created? You have chosen like Linux, right? On top of the instance, you have chosen Linux, right?
Correct.
So how do you differentiate? Because I have given the tag name here, but if I don't give any tag name here, so how do you differentiate? Let's say I don't have any tag name. How do you differentiate? So you can come down here. You will find the options right? Details, security, networking, storage. Okay. So if you come down, this is called Amazon
Yeah, right, right.
AMI location. So by using this, you will be able to identify whether it is a Linux or Windows or whatever it may be. So if I choose like Windows Server, if you want to create Windows, so I will launch the
Okay.
instance. I will launch the again. You need to launch the instance. So this is for Linux. Suppose I want for Windows. Let's say Windows. Same thing. I want to select the same instance type as T2 micro, one CPU, one GPU, memory. So again, I select the same thing. So network settings is by default.
Okay.
For Windows, that is different. For Linux servers, we will be using either PuTTY or Git Bash. For Windows, that is RDP. That we anyway we will be seeing like how to connect with the instances. So then go to log instance. Now it is in pending state only. So if you click on this, just refresh the page. Here you will find some status check, right? If you get 2 by 2 checks passed only, then only you will be able to connect to the instance.
Okay.
Now it is running state. So how do you differentiate whether it is Linux or Windows as we discussed, right? If you go down to
Yeah.
detail section down,
All the way down.
here you can see, right? Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon Windows Server. Right.
By
Yeah.
this we can differentiate whether it is Linux, even if you don't give any tag. So here in AWS, giving a tag name is very important. Otherwise, you will be having multiple servers, right? You don't know how to differentiate.
Okay.
See, in the same way, you are going to create multiple servers. How do you differentiate? So, best practice is giving the tag name. So here you can give your tag name. While creating the servers only, you can give your tag name so that you can be easily find out whether it is Linux or Windows. So here I am giving it as a Linux server. This one is
Windows.
Windows server. Okay, so we have seen like how to launch EC2 instance. So under the EC2 instance, so you can go on directly service section or you can go on to search bar and you can search for our service name is called EC2. Why EC2? EC2 is for creating your own virtual servers or instance or any of your required servers, right? So that comes under the EC2. So where it is EC2? EC2 is in compute section. So if you click on compute, so that will be under compute section only. Here you will find compute section, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, under the compute section, your EC2 comes. So how do you launch an
So
EC2 instance? So by using your services called EC2. Thereby clicking on EC2, you will be able to, click on instance type. What is instance type? Under the instance type, you will be having, you have the option called number of CPU and RAM, right?
correct.
Yeah, next comes storage. So by default here we are picking storage also. When you are clicking on like we have created like one instance, right? So here you can find storage option also. So what do you think here storage? In your working environment or any physical machine, you will be having some hard disk, right? So that is nothing but your storage in AWS. So here we are calling it as an volume, EBS volume, Elastic Block Storage Volume. See, you'll find EBS here. Root device type is EBS and device name is /dev SDA1.
Is it possible we can storage our own choice? Like we are choosing by default. Suppose in a real, world scenario, so
Hmm.
we can assign according to our need, is right? The storage. How does it works? Like,
No, this is by default, it is providing by AWS only.
oh, it is provided by AWS. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Real time in physical, we can attach
yeah.
external hard disk, right? In the same way,
Oh,
here also we can
okay.
create our own EBS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Thanks.
So, likewise, when we are having like volume in a physical machine, in the same way, we are having like EBS in the AWS section.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's good.
here security. What is security here in this type? What generally a physical machine or any computer or any system, how do you restrict? So, as we discussed, we got a topic like security, right? How do you access or how do you restrict the access?
Yeah, user IDs are based on.
No, by using firewall principles only, firewall rules, we can restrict the user or restrict the any browser activity, right?
Yes.
In the same way, we have got an option called security group in the AWS. This is called security group. So under this, you will find security details.
Okay.
So under security, if you click on security groups, you have two sections. So one is called inbound rules, one is called outbound rules. So what is inbound rules? Then what is outbound rules? So inbound is incoming traffic. Incoming traffic means you have some instance, you have created Linux server or Windows server. You will be getting the traffic from outside world.
Okay.
Like someone is accessing outside the world my Linux server. So that is called inbound. Right? The traffic is coming from the outside world, right? To access your Linux server. So that is called inbound rule. So here outbound rule is by default because you're you're ready to allow for anybody. You want to send a request to outside world that is by default. But you want an incoming request, there is some rules. That depends whether you want to restrict or allow. Hello.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, what I'm going to say is security. Security group is nothing but your firewall. So here under the security group we have inbound rules, outbound rules. So inbound rules, what inbound rules will tell us whether you want to allow incoming traffic outside world. Outside world is nothing but any browser, any cloud, and anybody wants to access our server. That is nothing but your outside world. Whether you want to allow incoming traffic from outside world or not. So that is access or denied, right? In the same way, outbound rules, that is by default only, because you are allowing my server to connect with the outside world. This is by default. So by system itself, by default, you will be having outbound rules. That is by default. That is always allow only. But coming to inbound rules, you will be having some restrictions. So you will be having some protocols. So if you are accessing all traffics, so that is 00. I mean, I want to access from any browser. You will be having some protocols. So you will be assigning some protocols in inbound rules so that the outside world or anybody from the outside can access your inside servers. Like here we can, if you click on inbound rules, so if I go to edit inbound rules, see this is for identity. So I am just allowing. For custom means only custom for this IP address. Anywhere IP address means from anywhere you can access my server. Here you, if you want to add a rule, suppose you want to restrict something. I want to restrict SSH. So you can restrict your SSH. What is SSH? There is some I mean, separate class for SSH also. Uh, Here you want to restrict this one. Okay, I want to restrict my IP. My IP means here I am allowing from my browser. So if you want to restrict, you can restrict it. The same way we can save the rules. So this is called by default. We have different security groups. But if you want to create your own security groups, means nothing but your own firewall. Whether you want to restrict or allow, so that you want to define, you can define it here in the section called security group. So is that clear till now? Any doubts?
Yes.
Any doubts?
No, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Everybody. Yeah, Mustafa, Jubair,
Yeah.
Sujit, Bunny. Hello, is that clear?
Yeah, from my side it is clear.
Yeah, I'm getting only one response. What about
Yeah,
others?
that's what.
Yeah, Sujit, Bunny.
It's clear from my side also. I don't have any special doubts regarding this.
Yeah, that's fine. So what what we have discussed till now. So we have created, we have launched an EC2 instance. So EC2 instance consists of instance type, storage, security group. You will be having network, right? So do you find any difficulty in creating, launching an instance? So will you able to create and launch an instance?
Till date, no, not yet. If there
Hello?
is any problem, I'll ask the doubt.
Yeah, yeah. My question. You are, okay with, creating or launching an instance, right? Right?
Yes, yes.
You
Yeah,
find
we are okay. No doubt.
you found the difference, right? How to create a Linux instance or Windows, whether it is some other operating system. You got to know, right?
Yeah, we are good. Yeah,
Yes,
we are good.
yes,
It's
sure.
very good.
Yeah. So let's stop here. I mean, we'll see like a different way how to connect the EC2 instance tomorrow. Let's get stopped here. Let me have some DevOps. Someone, you people are interested for DevOps also or only AWS?
Uh, as if now we have enrolled for AWS only.
Okay.
Yeah, but we want to go with AWS and DevOps. Yeah, we are good.
Yeah, I got to
We
know
want to learn.
only three
First, we
people
want.
are interested in AWS and one person is like into DevOps also. So if you
Okay.
want to continue with DevOps also, I can give a quick introduction about like DevOps. So if you are okay with that, so I can continue. Otherwise, we'll
Yeah,
stop
we'll.
here.
That we will continue. Okay.
Pardon?
Yeah, we will continue.
You want to
Yeah, we can go with DevOps as well. Thanks.
continue? Okay, so today we have seen like EC2 instance in AWS, how to launch an EC2 instance, and what are all the things that is available under the EC2 instance section, like instance type, security group, right, storage. So how do we select these CPUs, RAMs, right? We have different based on the requirement. We can create our own EC2 instance. That EC2 instance is nothing but your server machine or virtual machine, whatever you call, whether it is box. But in AWS, we are calling it as an instance. In Azure, it is called virtual machines, or GCP, it is also virtual machine. So till now it is clear, right? So how to launch an EC2, that is fine. Okay, let's get started with like what is DevOps actually, why DevOps came into picture. So in before DevOps, what it would be the scenario? So what are the development life cycle or what they are going to, I mean, they were using before DevOps. So
Okay.
if you take any application, so any application you want to develop. So what is the methodology they are going to, they were using before earlier days, before DevOps? So we have some development life cycle, right? For each and every application, whatever they want to develop, they are following some development life cycle, right? Before DevOps also.
Correct.
Yeah, that is most primarily we will be using like SDLC, right? We know, right? We are
Yeah.
pretty familiar with the software development life cycle, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We are calling it as an SDLC. So under this SDLC, we are occupied with many people, right? Like developers who will develop the code, will be having testers, right? We
Yes.
have production environment.
Correct.
So many stakeholders involved in SDLC, right? SDLC process, right from the developer to product owner. So we will be
Product
having
owner.
different stakeholders involved in software development life cycle, right? So that you are familiar with that. So
Yeah.
before that, so whatever the code, like say, what is application? What do you think? What is application according to you?
Application is like a set of programs to be executed in a sequence way known as application.
Yeah, that is fine. As in, I mean, you are technically that is fine, but as a layman terminology, what do you think? What is the application? Let's say for a product owner, do you think that he will understand the code? What you are saying?
Uh, no.
No, you want some functionality, right? You want some
Yes.
functionality.
Yes.
So
We use the function. What is there in the code? We will be not touching those things. But
yeah,
according to the code is running, what are the functionality we want to use? So that we utilize that functionality in application.
exactly. So that is technically that is fine, that is good. But as a layman or any business owner or any product owner, they don't know. But we'll call it in as in simple terms. Application is nothing but it's a business functionality, right? So whatever you are developing under the code, whether it is Java, Python, whatever it may be, backend, but as a front end, it should be having some business functionality. So for that purpose, we are developing some application, right? For developing application, we needed developers. They will develop it in Java, .NET, Python, whatever it may be. So after developing the code, you will be testing, right? You will be testing the functionality, right? Each and every functionality you need to test, and then only you will be able to deploy it onto production environment, right? Here, production environment is nothing but your live environment. Live environment is your end user can access your business functionality. So that is the main goal or main agenda of SDLC, right? Throughout the process, right from the developer to the product owner. So this is what happening. Even before DevOps also it is happening, right? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, it is happening.
Even before DevOps also it is happening, right? We have developers, we have the testers, we have the production, we have the product owners, we have SDLC process. So this is common.
Yes.
Even before DevOps also, this is common in the industry. But why DevOps came? Why do we need DevOps? What do you think?
So with the help of DevOps, it's became like a Scrum, like it's like became a process. Like everything will be keep on continuous integrations and continuous development will be happening. Continuous testing will be deployment is going to happen. So the chain will be keep the cycle will be keep on running. Like we don't have to give any manual sign off or manual testings, all those stuffs.
Yeah, even before DevOps also they are developing the code, testing the code, they're checking, cross-checking with the seat and product owner. That is also happening, right?
Correct. Yeah, that time also happening, but getting developed, it is like both, it is become as a more process oriented.
See,
Like with some
there should be some difference. Like why we are practicing DevOps only? Why it is becoming popular now?
uh, like not sure.
See, everybody wants to create, I mean, application in minutes, right? Nobody is waiting, nobody is wanting to wait for a time, right? So I want to, I mean, business owner can say like, yeah, I want to finish it in 5 days. So will you be able to do? Otherwise, you will lose the business, right? The customer will lose the
Yes.
business, even company will also lose the project. So if you are meeting the requirement, definitely we will lose the business. So for that purpose, do you think that is it manual activity is important or automation is important?
Automation.
Automation, right? So even before DevOps also, it is also doing some. Okay, but there is a lengthy process. It is called waterfall model. So once you develop the application, you cannot reverse it back. So that is what happening with even before DevOps. That is in waterfall model. Now everything is practicing in agile methodology. Agile is what? What do you think agile? In general, in English, what do you call agile?
Agile is uh, like a story, uh, what you will say in technically words like the work has been done in a sequential part of the stories. Like any development will done like in the parts of story. So the agile methodology will be used therefore to assigning the work task and it should be done as per the release part like that.
Yeah, it is nothing but it is done in the phases, right?
Yeah,
I'm asking like what do you call it? It is nothing but it's a English word I'm asking.
mm,
Okay, just leave the English word. But agile methodology is an like method of dividing the phases. You can divide into phases and you can run the project. So that is called agile methodology. I mean, you can break down in, I mean, you got some functionalities. You can break down that functionality into different phases and you can develop individually. And you can develop individually and you can deploy individually. You can test individually. So once it is perfect, once it is tested, once you get the certification from the testers, then you can integrate and you can deploy it onto production server so that the end user can access the application. So by using this agile methodology, there is a chance of, I mean, creating your project very fast and robust. So initially, I mean, there is a lot of manual activity involved. So to develop, there is no, if you develop the code, if I get that code, I need an permission, or else I need an, you need to send manually to the tester, then tester can test the code and then he will send it back to me. So these are all involved manual activity. But I want automation. To get the project fast done, you need automation, right? So in the process of automation, we have got some DevOps tools.
Correct.
So what are those? So
Like
DevOps, there is no particular definition. It is nothing
like
but DevOps is nothing but it is a collaboration between your developers and some operations. So
operations, yeah.
as a DevOps engineer, we are doing some operations, that's it. We are not doing any code or nothing. So as a developer develops the code, we need to provision some infrastructure or we need to do some operations. So that is the main agenda or duty of DevOps engineer. So in the process, in doing automation, we have some DevOps tools like GitHub. So what is GitHub? Is it?
Jenkins, other build tools like Maven and like
That is
whatever
different
it,
again. That is different. So GitHub is
yeah.
the source code management or version
Yeah,
control.
source code management using version
Version
control.
control. So likewise GitHub, we have many SVN, okay, PVCN, okay. We have so many, but the most popular is GitHub. So here in GitHub, what they are doing, the developer is developing the code. Initially, we used to, I mean, before GitHub, we are using SVN, but that is only centralized. There are some issues with the SVN because if you have got, I mean, only centralized, there is a disadvantages. There are some disadvantages by using SVN because of centralized. But whereas GitHub, that is distributed. So if you have developed the
Correct.
code, you have pushed the code into GitHub so that I can take the code and I can develop. So whatever work you left, from there I can start and I can develop the code and I can push it back to the GitHub. So that is the facility given by the source code management tool. So this is one way. Here also we can do like there is an integration. So somewhere, I suppose one developer is sitting in Hyderabad, one of the developer is sitting in Mumbai. They can
Yes, correct.
easily, by using distributed, they can easily integrate your code, right? Suppose if you are creating, you are developing some code related application, one of the developer is also some part is doing. So they both can integrate somewhere is sitting from Hyderabad or Mumbai, they can integrate by using the GitHub tool. So that is the beauty or that is the facility given by the GitHub source code management tool. The same way, this should be a continuous process, right? It should be continuous, right? There should be no restriction or no disruption while developing the code or while doing the testing